Right, at this point I'll just show you where to change network settings. If we speak IP address, DNS, gateway, WINS, etc. But if it's actually being taken from the DHCP server, how can I check what my IP address is? And maybe we can find out much more than that. Here we go. For this purpose, I'm going to use command line. If you type cmd, when you go start, type cmd, you've got a command prompt, right click on it, run it as administrator. If you run it as an administrator, it gives you more permissions are elevated, and you've got more. You can do much more on that. So the command in the Windows operating systems to check your network settings, etc., is ipconfig, and press return. Right, and here we go. What we've got here. It tells us that Ethernet card, it's called IPv6 address. This is the typical IPv6 address. It tells us IPv4 address, which is 192.168.0.64. You've got a subnet mask, and you've got a default gateway. What a default gateway is. Default gateway tells us the centralized device on the network, which you can actually go, your traffic can go outside of the world and back. We're gonna cover it later on in this course. If you want to know a bit more details about it, I would suggest to go ipconfig and /all. So as you see, you've got much more information here. So it will tell you what is the host name. It will tell you MAC address of the card, which we are going to talk about a bit later. So we've got IPv6 address as it was just on a basic command. Normal IPv4 address, network mask, default gateway, DHCP server, we're gonna talk about it later on, and DNS server IP addresses. These two IP addresses are the external DNS servers in the internet you can actually gain information from, but we are going to talk about it a bit later. In the Linux operating system, if you want to find out what is your network settings, again you have to go to command line, and similar to Windows operating systems, that was ipconfig. In Linux is ifconfig. And here we go. You've got similar information. The naming is a little bit different, but it means exactly the same. In Linux, the cards, the network card is called ETH. In this case, it's position 0, so it's a ETH 0. Because I'm not connected via cable, so there's not a lot of data here apart from MAC address, which is there. Very important thing is the loopback address, commonly known as a home address. Usually, most of the time is 127.0.0.1, and a net mask for it is 255.0.0.0. We're gonna cover it later on this course. I am connected via wireless LAN. In Linux it's called WLAN. Position at the moment is 0. That means that I've got only one wireless card. And as you can tell, I've got IP address here, which is the 192.168.0.36 netmax for this network, and the broadcast for this network as well. And IP version 6 address as well. And yeah, that's it. That's a basic differences between Linux and Windows operating system if we speak about the comparing them to the information about the network.